しもし。
Welcome into another episode of Phone It In right here on Sobros Network. Am I here? Am I even coming through? I don't know. Big Natural Stony Keeley here. The EIC at SobrosNetwork.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Stony Keeley, collectively at Sobros Network on all major social media platforms. Joined as usual by the star of the show herself, the cryptid queen of Sobros Network, Rooster. Rooster, how you doing today?
Up and down. It was a pretty shitty day, but you know, it's better now.
Yeah, it was a pretty shitty day. Man, for people that don't know, I don't know how you don't know this by now. We work the same day job and it fucking sucks sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Kind of hate it. So that's where I'm at.
A
But
little bit.
I did start the day with my first appearance on RKW for 104.5 The Zone, doing some NFL draft talk, which is not what we're here to talk about by any stretch of the imagination tonight.
No.
Still trying to figure out, like, I don't know. Could you hear anything I was saying when I was introducing myself at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
Could you hear all of it?
I think so.
It's like, welcome in to Phone It In.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still working this new interface because we're using Restream now because StreamYard can get fucked. But I don't know, like I don't hit the mark all the time. The video.
Well, and I was like backstage still for a minute. And yeah I don't know.
I gotta figure that part out. I gotta get with my friends that actually use Restream, and I gotta figure out how they do it, where we can just play the video and then it just pops up with us on the screen talking like it used to,
rather than have to manually like throw people in.
Yeah. Oh, Makash is in the chat. He wants to know, Rooster, who do you think the Titans are going to take in the draft?
I don't even understand the question. Is this like are you asking for a person's name?
Yes. That's where the Titans have the first overall pick in the draft because they were the worst team in the NFL.
Okay, I did hear that.
And so that means they have the first pick of all the college players that are going to be entering the NFL this season.
Okay.
So there you go. He wants to know who.
Schmitty Johnson.
That sounds there's a joke in there somewhere. No, I'm just thinking of Shitty Johnson.
Yeah.
But we can workshop that. So we're here to talk about remote viewing today. Rooster, why this topic, and how were you even exposed to this idea? Because I'd never heard about it before.
It's been on my list for a while. I think I don't know how I first heard about it. I mean, I read so much weird shit. I don't know where it's coming from, but I know that the Haunted Objects Pod did an episode on like Uri Geller, and he was a remote viewer. So I think they talked about it a lot in that episode.
Yeah. And so you were just like, man, I really want to dig into this topic.
Yeah. Oh, Astonishing Legends has talked about it before too. One of them has taken classes to try and do it.
Oh, shit.
Forrest? I think Forrest has been trying to do it.
That's something you can do? Take a class on how to remote view?
So. I mean, there is I sent you the CIA PDF that was like suggested. I was gonna have this up, but I didn't because I'm stupid.
Oh, wait. Is that the instructions at the end of our agenda? Okay, so there's a PDF that goes with it. I must have missed that.
Yeah, an evaluation of the remote viewing program, research and operational applications. No, that's not the one. Here it is. A suggested remote viewing training procedure. Oh God,
Whoa,
that's really
that's
lighting on my
crazy.
face.
It is, yeah. Welcome,
Um,
welcome to the light.
oh, it's very bright. But yeah, it's this whole PDF
I'm gonna have to look at that. Because
training guide.
I wanna try this. I found a training guide.
I'm gonna make you try it. We're gonna try a session
I
if
tried
you're
it.
up for it. If you're up for it.
I tried it in my bed before we came on here, and I couldn't get the hang of it. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well,
So that's
we can try.
yeah,
We can try.
maybe we can try it. I found a guide on how to what is it called? Astral projecting when you're sick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or no, not astral projecting, lucid dreaming.
Oh, okay.
Astral
Yeah. So
projection is
actually a
something
more
totally
real
different.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Lucid dreaming where you can, like, start to control your own dreams and do things,
Yeah.
and, um, I never stuck with it. It's just like you get to, like, day 3 and it's like, "Okay, I feel like I've been into this weird thing for a little too long now. Like, I need to snap out of this."
I think I actually the first time I saw like a Blue's Clues episode where they talked about it, and Steve said
What?
something about how you could try and like, take control of your dream if you're having a really scary dream or something. And I think I've been kind of able to do it sometimes. Like
That's
I've had
crazy.
moments where like I'm being chased by zombies and like I can't completely take control, but it's the situation where like if I'm running all sluggish, I can run better
Yeah.
because I'm aware that's a dream, or like I can turn my hand into a gun and finger shoot zombies.
That's
That
pretty
was
sick.
actually a pretty sick dream. That was sick.
Yeah. I've been able to so I've, like, woken up in a dream, I
Yeah.
guess, where it's like you kinda jolt in the dream and realize, "Oh, this is just a dream," but you don't
Mhm,
wake up in real life,
mhm.
so you're kinda stuck there. I've had that happen to me before where I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'm dreaming. None of this is real.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to fly, so I'm just gonna jump off this fucking cliff right now," and I did it in my dream, and then I
There you
smacked
go.
the bottom. I could feel the impact, and it jolted me awake. It was very,
Oh,
very
well,
weird.
that's sad.
Well, no, it was cool though because it didn't hurt, you know? It's like
Okay.
it hurt in my dream. I felt like I got hit by a car or something, and then as soon as I jolted awake, I realized, I'm perfectly
Well, it's
fine.
sad
I'm
you
in my
weren't
bed.
able to fly in your dream.
Well, the crazy thing is that I don't think I expected to fly. I think I just wanted
Um,
to, like, experience jumping off a cliff without dying.
oh,
So, I mean, would you do
I
it
see.
if you knew, like, maybe it just hurts like you got hit in the nuts with a baseball bat or something,
No,
but
that
you
still
could
seems pretty scary. Yeah.
I would do it. I would jump off a cliff if I knew I would live.
Why don't you should go skydiving. Are you gonna ever go skydiving?
Well, no, because it's not a dream. I could really die. I could
Oh, okay.
really hit
So,
the
like, in a
ground.
dream, okay.
Yeah, but in a dream, I would go skydiving and jump out of a plane and just hit the fucking ground, see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
but none of this is, what we're referring to
No,
when we talk about remote viewing. We just got
no.
on a tangent about controlling the crazy things that our mind can do sometimes. So,
Yeah.
why don't we just get right into this? And as usual, if you're watching along live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, feel free to get into the comments. Let us know your thoughts on the topic. If you have questions for us, like McCash asking Rooster who the Titans are going to take in the draft, get in there by all means. Ask your questions, and we will get to them as we can. But Rooster, let's kick this thing off. Just give people an idea when we say remote viewing. What exactly are we talking about here?
So, remote viewing is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen subject, purportedly sensing with the mind. A remote viewer is expected to give information about an object, event, person, or location hidden from physical view and separated at some distance. Physicists Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff,
Tooth off.
parapsychology researchers at Stanford Research Institute, which is SRI, like they will
Mhm.
come up again, but are generally credited with coining the term remote viewing to distinguish it from the closely related concept of clairvoyance. So
Yeah.
it's kind of different, I guess. I don't really, whatever.
Clairvoyance is what, like seeing the future?
I don't know. I looked up clairvoyance
I
and
can't remember the distinction.
it
Yeah.
just said like knowing things through like unnatural way unnatural ways. You know, like you somehow know something, but not through any normal means.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's super vague. So I don't know why you couldn't just also call this clairvoyance, but whatever.
But remote viewing is essentially being able to see an object, person, thing, whatever, without actually being within proximity to it, or being your view being obstructed of it. So like
Yeah.
technically speaking, I could see, excuse me, what's on the other side of this door that's closed in front of me.
Yeah, like it's the whole holding up like they've got a picture in an envelope and they have to describe it, or like you give somebody coordinates and they tell you like what's at those coordinates.
Yeah. I just don't I don't know, maybe we'll get into it, but the physics of this seem just
Oh,
a little sketchy.
it
Like I don't know.
seems like impossible.
It seems impossible. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But maybe we just haven't unlocked enough of our brain.
Yeah, you gotta be
Maybe
more open-minded. I mean, you have to do this by the end of it.
maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I couldn't do it following the instructions just lying in my bed, because I couldn't like shrug off the idea of like there's no way I'm going to do this.
Well, I mean, you saw Aliens recently.
That's true. Yeah, there was a giant green light in the sky
Mhm.
near our neighborhood that nobody seemed to have an explanation for.
You know, a lot of people say you can will the aliens to visit you if you just kind of meditate for the aliens.
Damn.
I don't know if you look at the alien subreddit stuff, but it's full on. Like
I
it's
don't I don't want them to come visit me though. I want them to come visit. Can I meditate for them to go visit like my neighbors or something?
maybe you could
Or
will
like
them
I
to
can
visit your neighbors.
peek my head out
Are
the
you
window?
wanting harm? You know, intention matters.
No, no, no. I don't
Okay.
want harm. Just like I want to know if y'all were hanging out in that sky that Friday night when we got back from Memo's Mexican Kitchen in
Okay.
Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
But you want them
Was
to
that
visit your neighbors.
go visit the neighbors and then I'm just gonna peek my head out the window and just watch and see
Okay.
what happens.
So, but you do want to see them just from a distance.
Just from a distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Because that's, I just don't know. I mean, I catch anything. If people sneeze around me, I'll be sick for 2 weeks, and
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know what the aliens are carrying.
That's very true.
So are you telling me with remote viewing, I could deduce what that light was in the sky just by thinking about it enough?
I think it's more like if you wanted to see what was behind the clouds,
Yeah,
you could sit there and maybe figure it
I could
out. My
I could
stomach is
figure it out.
going. Everybody's gonna hear my belly rumbling.
I thought I just heard somebody talking in the back of the room, but it was your stomach, huh?
My stomach's talking. Yeah,
Okay.
it's great.
All right. Well, moving right along then, let's get into a brief history
Brief
of
history.
remote viewing.
Okay, the study of psychic phenomena by major scientists started in the mid 19th century. As you can imagine, is mostly an interest in occult and spiritualist groups, you know. Um,
Okay. I have I told the story about like the parapsychology books at MTSU? I feel like I have told that story before.
Parapsychology. What? It sounds vaguely familiar.
There's like I don't think there wasn't a course at MTSU that you could take at the time about parapsychology, which is paranormal psychology. But they did have a section dedicated to it in the library. So like I used to go, I was a psychology major. I was interested in all this stuff. I would go to the library in my free time and find like books about this stuff. And there were like legit experiments conducted at like Duke University for people that can move things with their mind. And
Yeah.
they would have people, they would roll dice and have the subject control the numbers that the dice land on. And I remember thinking, like, this is so cool that this is being studied and published in this setting, and this information I'm able to access here at Middle Tennessee State in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But then I flipped the page and it was like, okay, now we're going to try and figure out why this poltergeist is haunting this family. And I was like, we've gotten too real. I don't want to,
No. Oh,
I
that's
don't
too
like that
real.
shit. Like, that's too scary for me. Like, I'm going to go back and read these telepathic people that can, or not telepathy. What is whatever you can move objects with your mind? I can't remember.
Telekinesis.
Yeah. These telekinetic people moving dice with their mind. That's not scary at all. But
Mhm.
you start getting into some of that stuff and I'm like, man, I can't believe this is a fucking real book in a library on a
That
university.
would be so cool if MTSU had a department study.
Well, I don't remember at the time. I can't remember if there was going to be a parapsychology class or if I just found it somewhere else and was looking into it to see if MTSU would offer it. So, like, it could be today. They could have launched a course. I mean, at the time I went there wasn't a sports psychology program, but they had a sports psychology class that you could take for.
Yeah. Well, they had I took a neuropsychology course and that made me consider switching degrees, but that was like the only class that they had. So
Yeah, I failed all the neurological stuff. Well, I
I
shouldn't say
loved
all
that
of it.
one.
I had oh man, what was it called? Sensation and perception.
Ooh.
Um that was a really cool course that
Yeah.
I did fail because I couldn't really keep up with my teacher and I was too shy of a kid
Mm.
to like ask for help, so I just fucking stopped going to class.
Oh.
And then when I realized, like, oh wait, no, this counts and I've got to take this the very next semester or else this F is going to stay on my
Yep.
record. It's like,
Yep.
okay, I'm going to do this. And I got a different professor, a little more engaging, and I felt a little better connected to him enough to where I felt comfortable at least hanging around after class and asking him some of the questions I was struggling with. Really difficult course that I gave it like my best effort and still only got like a C plus.
Man, I love the brain stuff. In that class, that was a class I maybe have brought it up before, but we talked about like a chick raised by like dogs or something.
Yeah,
Talked about like twins separated at birth. Um, talk about well, like just yeah, feral kids in general. Like, I don't know. There was serial killers, the weird stuff with babies where they would, you know, take away little baby monkeys and put them with a stuffed animal, like kind of sad shit
that
as
is, yeah,
they watch how brains develop, but very cool.
yeah. So this like strikes me. It's similar work, obviously, when we're talking about the remote viewing context, but I don't know. It's interesting. I love when stuff like this actually is studied through an academic way
Yeah.
because I
Well,
do think it lends a little bit of credibility to it.
the CIA will fucking do anything,
Well, that's true too.
to
Yeah.
find like, oh, how can we how can we figure out where somebody's hiding? Well, also, I think, God, do I get to it at some point? I don't know. They heard that the Soviet Union was doing this shit, so like, oh, well, we definitely need to do it too. What was that Men Who Stare at Goats kind of shit? I didn't even see the movie,
Oh
but
yeah, I never saw that movie either, but I know what you're talking about.
that
Yeah.
was about something else. And also MK Ultra kind of shit, whatever.
Which
They love that stuff.
we
Mhm.
have an episode on MK Ultra in the Phone It In archives, so
We do.
go
That's
look it
a
up.
Tom Hiddleston fisting one.
Is it really?
Yes.
I forgot.
I will never forget that one. It's oh,
I did not realize that was
yeah.
that episode.
Mhm.
So, all right, well,
Yep.
nice little
Okay.
detour there.
In the 1930s, J.B. Rhine expanded the study of paranormal performance into larger populations by using standard experimental protocols with unselected human subjects. But as with earlier studies, Ryan was reluctant to publicize this work too early because of the fear of criticism from mainstream scientists.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame it. I don't blame him. I feel like that's probably a good thing. That's
Yeah,
probably a mark that okay, this is a normal guy that's doing some science
that's
that
fair. Yeah, he's a little bit self-aware.
yeah, self-awareness is good in this regard because it's not just some crazy guy spouting off all this stuff. He's like, I don't even know if I want to publicize this right now.
Yeah, that's a great point. Um, I think that would probably be more common in older times. Now everybody's just cool with being completely off the walls, batshit crazy.
Yeah,
Um, like no filter. Give
you just
credence to the stupidest shit.
yeah, and just say whatever you want.
Yep.
And
Oh,
there are
like
people that
oh,
will
like
buy it.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Um,
I kind of want you to say it.
I was just gonna say Joe Rogan, but
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
sure he's a very big podcast and people are
And
gonna feel away, but fuck Joe Rogan. I don't give a shit.
he's not gonna find us.
No, but people who listen to us might also listen to Joe Rogan.
I mean, I listen to Joe Rogan, but
How dare you?
I know it's like some of it, okay, when he doesn't get into that territory where he's just completely in over his head and has no fucking clue what he's talking
Right.
about, but still tries to talk as if he's
Yeah.
an authority on the matter.
Yeah.
Like there's some fun stuff. There's some fun stuff on his show.
Okay.
I feel like he tries to like take everything to a weird spot though. Like
I think
he'll have a comedian on his show and they won't
yeah.
talk about the comedian's career. They'll talk about aliens and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can be fun with it, but when you've got a lot of listeners who think that like, oh fuck yeah, just eating yak meat will help my testicles, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people oh, that was going to be mean. I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
See? Gotta be a little careful talking about this.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right.
Well, no, I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
People get what they deserve.
Fair. It's true.
People get what they deserve. If you're going to take that, we're just already off the rails.
Good.
If you're going to take the advice of a comedy podcast,
Yeah.
you deserve come what may.
You know, I think the life that we have now coddles people too much.
Yeah.
Maybe more people need to die. Oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I would never say something like that. I would never believe anything like that.
I'm just Dwight Schruding it, you know?
I rebuke that.
Yeah. Just got caught up in the moment.
All right, remote
Okay.
viewing. Remote viewing.
Um,
Paranormal studies remained a fringe area of scientific
you.
exploration.
oh, you can keep going.
However, by the 1960s, the prevailing counterculture attitudes were sympathetic to paranormal ideas. The emergence of what is termed New Age thinking and the popularity of the human potential movement, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that is, provoked a mini renaissance that renewed public interest in consciousness studies and psychic phenomena. It also helped to make financial support more available for research into such topics. So the 1960s, we were becoming a little more open to these ideas, the fringe science, if you will. There's a term for it, and I can't remember what it is now. It's like all the fringe sciences together, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called.
I looked up the human potential movement, and this actually, I read a book recently that was a horror book, and it was kind of based around this idea, along with like weird testing they were doing. And it was supposed to be like they did it in this house in the 70s, and they were doing weird experiments, and it was super haunted.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
God, what was that?
Now we're looking up book recommendations.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not going to remember what it is. Uh, so the human potential movement arose out of the counterculture of the 1960s and formed around the concept of an extraordinary potential that its advocates believed to lie largely untapped in all people. I
A
think it was just like
potential.
higher thinking, like
So like we're all capable of like unlocking the universe's secrets.
yeah, probably something like that. Like more like maybe we're all a little psychic.
And we can all do this remote viewing and shit like that. We just have to we just have to follow the instructions.
Right.
That's interesting. So what does the movement, I mean, what is it accomplishing besides provoking a mini renaissance that renewed public interest in consciousness
Um
studies?
The movement takes as its premise the belief that the development of their human potential can contribute to a life of increased happiness, creativity, and fulfillment. And as a result, such people will be more likely to direct their actions within society toward assisting others to release their potential.
Damn, that sucks. That
So it,
sucks so bad. Everybody's
yeah,
so fucking sad that they're like, man, we got to figure this out. Maybe there's a psychic way that we can
yeah,
become more happy.
yeah, because adherents believe that the collective effect of individuals cultivating their own potential will be positive change in society at large.
Man, that's sad. But it sounds like they raise money so that more people could research psychic things.
Yeah. The book was episode 13 by Craig DeLuey.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. So the CIA and US Army were at least there's probably others, I don't know, were
Yeah.
investigating slash researching this phenomena along with SRI. The Army unit was called the Stargate Project.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's relevant in science fiction, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Stargate, there's a show, there's a movie.
Yeah, I've heard the term before, so that's about all I know about it. But
Yeah. I've seen the movie. I don't know anything about the show.
was it based off of remote viewing
No,
or was
it's
it
like
completely different?
God, it's been so long since I've seen it. They like open a portal and there's like aliens that are ancient Egyptian or
Okay.
something. I don't know.
All right. Isn't it kind of crazy though? Like there's a lot of weird stuff that we've talked about on this podcast in its history
Mhm.
that we get to and it's like the army and the CIA were
Mhm.
involved.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, another topic I thought about doing was black helicopters, and I'm sure they would be all over that shit too.
Well, put it on the list.
Oh, it's on my list.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to it at some point. But yeah.
Was just hearing weird noises in my house and I had
So
to
it's
make sure.
aliens.
Yeah, it's just my wife's just home from work and it's not
Okay.
aliens invading.
Okay.
That I know of. It could be aliens cooking dinner. I don't know.
Men in Black.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see here in a minute.
In 1970, United States intelligence sources believed that the Soviet Union was spending 60 million rubles
I guess so.
annually on psychotronic research.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, psychotronic sounds
Psychotronic.
that sounds pretty sci-fi.
It does, yeah.
In response to claims that the Soviet program had produced results, the CIA initiated funding for a new program known as Scanate, Scan by Coordinate, in the same year.
Okay.
So remote, which that sounds right to the point. Like, okay,
It does.
by coordinate, sure.
Yeah.
Remote viewing research began in 1972 at Stanford Research Institute in Menlo Park, California. Those two guys I just talked about earlier said that a minimum accuracy rate of 65% required by the clients was often exceeded in the later experiments.
Whoa. That's crazy.
So the physicists began testing. Why my brain just blank out? Psychics for SRI in
So are these
19.
like self-proclaimed psychics, I guess, that are
I think
saying
so.
they can do this
I don't
and
know.
they're just wanting to test it?
Well, so I know like Okay, in 1972, including Israeli Yuri Geller. I think Yuri Geller is the one who was bending spoons.
Oh,
That's like
that's
the
sick.
bending spoon guy.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think they're self-professed people. If they're like Yuri Geller, I think he was already doing. I don't know if he was already on tour yet. I think that guy like is kind of famous in pop culture.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I don't know.
What a talent that would be, though.
Yeah,
I'd go on tour
that's a
too.
sick party trick if you can fool people and do that.
Yeah. What if I mean, what if it's real?
Didn't we talk about psychic healing?
Yeah, we did. We had, there's an episode on
This feels a lot like that. Like Yuri Geller, I bet he did psychic healing. Did he come up in that episode?
I feel like he did. Yeah. I
That
feel like we
seems familiar.
talked about this guy before, but man, that would
Maybe we
be
did.
I don't know, like, you would have to be there it takes some strength to bend a spoon.
With your mind or with your
So, like
hand?
yeah, so, like, you could really hurt people with your mind if you wanted to.
Ooh. Or heal.
Or heal. Yeah, there's a story idea in there somewhere.
What about a hitman who just kills people with his mind?
He'd be undefeated. How would you
I wanna
stop
do
that
that.
guy? How
Ha
would
I
you
want
stop that
I wanna
guy?
take courses on that.
Yeah, well, we gotta start with the remote viewing
Okay.
first.
Then move up to murder.
Yes.
Um, okay, so Yuri Geller, who would later become an international celebrity, his allegedly successful results began garnering interest within the US Department of Defense until hater Ray Hyman wrote a report that he was a fraud. I put
Love
hater. I added that.
well, love the hater energy.
Yeah, for sure.
Myself, anyway.
Shout out to the haters.
Yeah.
Um, One of the project's successes was the location of a lost Soviet spy plane in 1976 by Rosemary Smith, which that is a very cute name,
It
I have
is.
to say.
I
That's
like the name
she sounds like
Rosemary.
a grandma. Like, I imagine a grandma's remote viewing.
Well, it was 1976.
Um,
She's a grandma now if she wasn't then.
just I would just imagine somebody wearing sweaters and looking all cozy.
Yeah, the
But
big glasses, the curly hair.
yeah.
Yeah, knitting while she's doing it.
A young administrative assistant recruited by project director Dale Graff. So she was young.
It's just an administrative assistant. Like, she
Yeah.
wasn't even a psychic. They just trained this woman to
Well,
find
anybody can be a psychic.
oh, that's crazy. That's so cool.
That's pretty wild. Okay,
But
so
they
I threw in somebody to talk about because I didn't go super deep into this. It's honestly kind of boring. I tried to read the whole PDF. It's so long and it like I fell asleep every time I tried.
that's what I got into, like, reading the actual, like, parapsychology textbooks. Was like,
Mhm.
"Man, this, like, feels like I'm in class."
Yeah. The CIA stuff is worse than that. Um,
Yeah.
like they can release it there because they probably know nobody will read it because it's so boring. But Joseph McMoneagle,
That's a great name.
yeah. He joined the army in 1978. He became remote viewer number 1 at Project Stargate.
How about that? We
Number 1.
always come up with some great story ideas on this show, but
Yeah,
this
I know.
this is one, like, we gotta write it. Somebody's gotta write it.
About remote viewer number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Just
actually
saying.
pretty cool. I'm just thinking about stuff now. So, according to McMoneagle, remote viewing is possible and accurate outside the boundaries of time. He believes
How do you get outside the boundaries of time, though? That's what I can't get over.
you just gotta meditate.
Oh, okay.
I just like meditating. Um,
Ah, excuse me.
he believes he has remote viewed into the past, present, and future and has predicted events. According to Paul H. Smith, who was himself involved in the Stargate program, McMoneagle predicted several months into the future. and McMonagle's own accounts provide differing claims of the accuracy of his remote viewing, varying from 5 to 95%, and between 65 and 75%. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what the sentence is trying to say. McMonagle
60% of the
claims,
time it works every time.
yeah, pretty much 5% of the time it works 65% of the time.
There we
But
go.
McMonagle claims that remote viewing is not always accurate, but that it was able to locate hostages and downed airplanes, as I said.
Do you want to try, you and me tonight on this show? We're going to try and find the missing Malaysian Airlines flight.
Oh my
And
God. Well,
what if
we
we
could,
just did that?
I mean, I have tarot cards and you could try and do that. You could
I
try
don't.
and figure out what tarot card I'm holding.
Okay. All right. I
But if
don't
you
know
want to do
any tarot
something
cards.
big, yeah, that's so it works. You know, that's even better.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
But I mean, if we did big stuff, we can't verify it. Although if you
Unless
put
we
it out
went,
there, yeah.
or we see it and it's like on the moon because aliens took it.
I hope you see that. I hope that's what you see. um
All right. Where were we?
of other psychics, he says that 98% of the people are kooks. McMonagle's claims McMonagle claims to have predicted the passing of a teenager's right to work bill, a new religion without the emphasis of Christianity, which that's easy to predict. You could say that anytime. That's
Yeah,
always
for
going to
sure.
fucking work.
For sure.
A science of the soul, a vaccine for AIDS, a movement to eliminate television, and a temporary tattoo craze that would replace the wearing of clothing.
Whoa. So like everybody's just running around naked with
Naked.
tattoos?
Well, there's that like painted on clothes stuff that I've seen people do.
How are you gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna paint clothes on my body.
How do you pee? You're just gonna.
You just go.
Yeah, but then like if it gets like wet and you rub off the paint, then like you're just fucking coochie is out. I mean, guys, it doesn't make a difference, but you know,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't like, it's not gonna hide anything.
no.
Yeah. I don't
Maybe they still wear
this,
underwear.
this is a little we're getting a little perverted here.
um all of which were supposed to take place between 2002 and 2006.
Well, didn't happen, buddy.
No, I guess that's your 5% accuracy there.
Yeah. Movement to eliminate television is an
Yeah.
interesting one. Because I could totally see that happening one of these days.
So I find it hard to believe there's going to be, at this point, any one big movement outside of like social stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's so much coming at people from so many directions. It seems really hard to get a lot of people focused on one thing long enough for there to be a movement.
Yeah. Fair. I think that's fair.
So yeah, in 1995, the Defense Appropriations Bill directed that the program be transferred from DIA to CIA oversight. The CIA commissioned a report by the American Institutes for Research that found that remote viewing had not been proved to work by a psychic mechanism and said it had not been used operationally.
Okay.
So,
That's
yeah, I mean,
then.
so they essentially just, well, so, okay, remote viewing as from this PDF file, it kind of shows that they would take down the reports from remote viewers and send them off. They wouldn't tell the viewers the results because they didn't want to hurt their confidence and abilities when they were wrong.
So it was just basically we're going to act on everything, but these people are going to be wrong quite a bit. and we're just
Well, we'll just write down. Well, they actually had rules on how to write it down, and one of the rules was like if they seem confident in what they're seeing, it's wrong. Like
oh,
throw it away. Like if they see something vividly, it's not accurate.
that's interesting.
Like there's really weird rules in this PDF file. So I wrote some of it down, like the actual procedure. I had to go down to the bottom and they have like pictures comparing like what remote viewers saw and what it's supposed to be, and it's all like so vague. Like one of them looks like a sombrero, and I think it's supposed to be like a sombrero. I said that's so white. But I think it's supposed to be like a stadium or something.
Okay.
God, it's so bright.
Yeah, you're illuminated right now.
I know.
You are.
Look like Casper.
So are we gonna do this?
Yeah, we can do this.
All right.
Yep, here it is. Oh God, it's so stupid. It looks like a UFO. It looks like a UFO, but it's supposed to be like a stadium. Anyway. Okay. So access. There's like 3 different stages here. Access. Uniquely
Hang on, before we get started,
Okay.
are we instructing the people watching along at home to try this as well?
I don't know. Yeah, should they know what my tarot card is?
Well, I don't know how we're gonna pull that off.
You just take off your headphones or something and I'll just say what it is.
All right, I can just, like close
Yeah,
my
my
eyes.
camera sucks. Like nobody can. I guess I could show it and they'll see it well enough. But then people who are listening won't know.
All right, so okay, I'm gonna do this then. I'm gonna take my headphones off,
Okay.
and you've just got to I'm gonna cover my eyes, and I'm gonna count to 10. And once that's done, I'm gonna come back and put my headphones back on.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's
8,
the three of
9,
wands.
10. Okay, I'm back. Did you get it out? You got it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So now everybody watching live knows which tarot card you're holding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so uniquely identify the target, and the target is the thing, I think.
So the target is the card.
Sure. Establish a need to describe the target. So, Stony, I need you to describe the target.
All right. It's a card.
Well, you don't do it right now.
Okay.
Supply the stimulus through a neutral word. Capture and hold the first impression following the access word. So I think the access word for them would just be like search. I don't know. That feels very much like telling a dog a command or something.
So you say search, and then I'm supposed to tell you what I see in my brain.
Well, hold on. We can go through all the rules first.
Okay.
So quickly write down the first impression. Recall that correct data will appear vague and indistinct. Immediately take a brief break of 10 to 30 seconds following a response. If any impressions appear vivid or distinct, record and circle them. Such information is known as interpretive overlay. It is almost always incorrect and discarded.
Huh. Okay.
Repeat all the above steps until the target is described in detail. As each impression is received, describe the target in terms. So we're going to ignore the taking of the break and shit, whatever. But, just quickly write down impressions indistinct.
So
I'll write. You can just say them. You just say them out loud. We're not writing it
what
down.
though?
Of the card.
Of the card. Okay.
Of what the card is. Of what's on the card. Anything that might because there's a lot of artwork on tarot cards.
Yeah, there is.
So like any first impressions would be.
But you're supposed to say like a search word.
I don't know. We can skip that part. That's weird.
I'm supposed to associate it like with I'm guessing it's supposed to be like an anchor point. I don't know. Like you say a word and I go to
I
this
think it's just kind
thing.
of like a trigger, yeah, to be like, okay, now search.
Okay,
Now we're
gotcha.
breaking, and then now search. Like just to know when you're starting.
So I'm describing this card that I'm seeing. This is great podcasting, by the way.
Well, that's why I said it out loud. There's nothing else visual happening.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, you're gonna describe texture, function, color, age, motion, whatever, anything. Just
okay, just
anything.
whatever I'm seeing in my mind's eye
Yeah.
when I think of this card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's blue.
Okay.
And just keep going.
Sure.
It's blue. It has a frayed edge on it. There's like a little bit of the paper showing, but that's very vivid. So I'm going to circle that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Torn edge. It has a castle on it
Okay.
that has a ramp going down with trees growing on each side of the ramp.
Okay.
When are we done?
This is good.
On the back of it, it has a crown on it.
Okay.
And within the crown, there's an all-seeing eye. And there's radiation coming from around the crown with the eye on it.
Okay.
Instead of writing down crown, I just drew a crown with an eye on it.
That's cool.
Still keep going. We just keep trying
We
it.
can stop. We
Okay.
can stop.
Okay.
I mean, blue. It's a blue tarot card.
Oh shit! I'm psychic.
You got it. I mean, this would be the side with the crown on it, though. This is the back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's flower.
It's not a crown, but
no. Anyway,
yeah.
This is what it looks like. Does this hurt your confidence at all to see that it was wrong?
No, I did not. My confidence is not shaken one bit because I never expected to be able to tell you.
It's a man with a red robe on. It's also kind of blue. He's got like blue sleeves.
I wish I could draw you what I was seeing in my head.
And he's standing with 3 tall sticks around him because it's the 3 of wands or 3 of, I don't know. I think sometimes they call them different things.
I'm drawing the castle that I saw, by the way.
Yeah, 3 of wands.
It's very, very different. I'll show you later. I just realized.
Okay. Oh.
No, there's some stuff on here. I don't care if people see. That's what I saw in my head.
Honestly, I think that there's probably a card that looks, I don't know. Like when you described it, I could see it. So maybe we're just.
I just need to get back in the lab and figure out my psychic game. I got to get my mind stronger. So if I just keep doing this, practicing this over and over, eventually I'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Also, are you too far from me for this to work?
No. They would remote view into different countries and stuff, like really far away.
So do you think we're ready to try and find the missing Malaysian Airlines?
Yeah, let's go for it. Should we?
Okay. Picturing water, ocean.
Good.
Metal.
Uh-huh.
It's very vivid.
Oh, you got to cross that out then.
Yeah. That's all I got.
This is so stupid.
All right.
Cool.
So that's it. That's the end of our notes then. We did it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else. It doesn't I don't know. It's what you'd expect. There's some people who think they probably did really well. I mean, they found the one thing, but nothing goes deep into that. Like you can read this really bright CIA PDF. I think they tried finding criminals and stuff, like people.
That's crazy.
But
that is insane.
Maybe I should have watched Men Who Stare at Goats to prep for this.
Yeah, maybe we should. We should. That's the big takeaway here.
Yeah. I don't know. The CIA would do all kinds of crazy shit.
I mean, you got to rule things out, you know. What if it
Yeah.
were possible that you could just train someone to see anything anywhere on Earth? You know the CIA would want in on that.
Well, definitely. But I feel like you could pretty confidently just say that that's not a possibility.
Fair enough.
Like, I would.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, guys, this is probably not going to work.
Yeah.
But there's still like classes that go on. I think some people still have some success with it. I don't know. Maybe you're just not that good, Stoney.
Maybe not. I feel like I described a tarot card.
But the thing is, like, I mean, maybe. But the thing is, like, they keep it so vague. And if you see anything vivid, you toss it. So what is that saying? Like, anything vague enough, you can be like, yeah. Sure, you described the trees outside. Good job.
Yeah. No, seems difficult. Seems difficult to prove in an academic setting. So
yeah.
Tough scene, remote viewing. I'm not buying it.
Well, I could be convinced, I think.
I could be convinced that there are things about our brain that we don't understand that could potentially unlock gifts such as this.
Okay.
Like if all energy is connected.
Yeah, let's get weird.
You could theoretically construct a notion that, well, if all energy is connected, then you just need access to the pipeline.
Yeah. Well, it's like those weird moments where something tragic happens and you just get a feeling like, oh God, I need to check up on grandma.
It's the energy.
And she died. She died. And it's like, how did I know?
Yeah. It's not necessarily clairvoyant, but there's something in the vibrations in the atmosphere.
Maybe that's what the human potential movement was all about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Should we join the human potential movement? Is it still going?
Probably not. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have time for that. We're going to get off this podcast and I'm going to completely forget that remote viewing ever existed.
No, you're not.
Until I see that fucking flight in my head.
You're going to be thinking about it now.
You're going to turn on Good Morning America in the morning and I'm going to be on there like, yes, I have found.
I would never turn on Good Morning. I would miss that completely. I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
You'd have to tell me like, hey, I was on Good Morning.
Could you remote view my brain?
You know, have you ever heard that like you can get into somebody else's dream?
No, but that would be wild.
I've heard that there's like people will astral project into other people's dreams and then you guys have the same dream and then you talk about it the next day and like it's the same dream.
I don't want anybody coming into my dreams. Some weird shit.
Yeah, because you're throwing yourself off cliffs.
if you show up in my dream, I'm gonna be like, Roxanne,
jump off this cliff.
Jump off this cliff with me. Come on, let's do it.
And I'll be shooting zombies with my fingers.
Yeah, I'll be like, how do I get one of those
finger guns? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this does sound kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, as long as we're not having sex dreams or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got to the end of our notes.
We made it.
Do you have any parting thoughts before we get on out of here?
No.
Yeah. Same here. I'm going to read this manual though. I'm going to read this manual.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm going to try and do some remote viewing. I'm going to practice it.
Let me know if you actually managed to read it.
Who am I kidding? I don't have time for this right now.
No.
Maybe in the off season, once the draft is over, then I can get around to it.
No.
Learn how to remote view. I do kind of want to crash other people's dreams now, all of a sudden. that's possible, you know?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try that out. I actually never had sex dreams. I will share that bit of lore.
Yeah.
So it's safe if you want to try and crash my dream.
Get some finger guns, jump off some cliffs.
Yeah, mine are almost exclusively like action dreams,
Mm.
or like we're stuck inside of a giant building. Like you live life inside of a giant building.
We're just going to jump off the building.
You can't get out. We are all living inside of a mall. That's our life now. We're inside of a mall or a school.
Okay. That sounds boring.
Yeah, I don't know why that's such a recurring theme. I
Why
don't know.
Why do you have finger guns in the mall?
I don't know. It's a dystopian future. It's like that Chinese building that you can't get out of. They kept building onto it, and it's like weird. I do not know about this building. I'm gonna have to look this up now.
No.
Okay.
Let's get out of here then.
Yeah.
Let's call it a night.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Phone It In. Do you know what we're going to be talking about in a couple of weeks?
That Chinese building. No, I don't know. Maybe.
No?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Back to our regularly scheduled time, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can follow Rooster at Rooster_Chase. I'm at Stony Keeley, collectively at Sobros Network. Rate, review, subscribe, phone it in wherever you take in your podcasts. We're out in these internet streets, baby. We ain't too hard to find. So for Rooster, I'm Stony. And until next time, you stay classy, phoners.
Bye.